Liberty, when it begins to take root, is a plant of rapid growth. Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence. We in America do not have government by the majority. We have government by the majority who participate. The civil rights of none shall be abridged on account of religious belief or worship, nor shall any national religion be established, nor shall the full and equal rights of conscience be in any manner, or on any pretext, infringed. The greatest scourge an angry heaven ever inflicted upon an ungrateful and a sinning people was an ignorant, a corrupt, or a dependent judiciary. Posterity, you will never know how much it has cost my generation to preserve your freedom. I hope you will make good use of it. It is not the function of the government to keep the citizen from falling into error. It is the function of the citizen to keep the government from falling into error. I tread in the footsteps of illustrious men, in receiving from the people the sacred trust confided to my illustrious predecessor. It is not too much to say that our country owes its unexampled prosperity to the general supremacy of law and the just administration of the laws. So far as it depends on the course of this government, our relations of goodwill and friendship will be sedulously cultivated with all nations. One great object of the Constitution was to restrain majorities from oppressing minorities or encroaching upon their just rights. I have been and still am unalterably opposed to any organization of a political character in the Army. I know that human prejudice, especially in the United States, has its pride and passion, but I love the Union more. No service can be performed for the Union except by those who are devoted to its interests. The selection of officers and the disposal of office are everywhere the regular and legitimate fruits of political victory. America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. No people can establish a free government without the power of the ballot, and hence it is that our fathers have secured to us a right which, when used properly, will secure to us every other right. There are but two parties now, traitors and patriots, and I want hereafter to be ranked with the latter. The President of the United States should strive to be always tolerant and to be always one of the people. His office is anything but one of dignity. A law is not a law without coercion behind it. The extravagant expenditure of public money is an evil not to be measured by the value of that money to the people who are taxed for it. He mocks the people who proposes that the government shall protect the rich and that they in turn will care for the laboring poor. The distribution of wealth is a problem which will have to be solved in our day. We must make commercial treaties with as many states as possible, that our products may enter every market. A man who is good enough to shed his blood for the country is good enough to be given a square deal afterward. The courts are not infallible, and their judgments have sometimes been the judgments of very fallible men. The government, which was designed for the people, has got into the hands of the bosses and their employers, the special interests. An invisible empire has been set up above the forms of democracy. America's present need is not heroics, but healing, not nostrums, but normalcy, not revolution, but restoration. Government's view of the economy could be summed up in a few short phrases. If it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. And if it stops moving, subsidize it. Economic depression cannot be cured by legislative action or executive pronouncement. Economic wounds must be healed by the action of the cells of the economic body, the producers and consumers themselves. Democracy cannot succeed unless those who express their choice are prepared to choose wisely. The real safeguard of democracy, therefore, is education. All the president is a glorified public relations man who spends his time flattering, kissing, and kicking people to get them to do what they are supposed to do anyway. Leadership consists of nothing but taking responsibility for everything that goes wrong and giving your subordinates credit for everything that goes well. And this generation does not intend to founder in the backwash of the coming age of space. We mean to be a part of it, we mean to lead it. The environment is where we all meet, where we all have a mutual interest. It is the one thing all of us share. Always remember, others may hate you, but those who hate you don't win unless you hate them, and then you destroy yourself. The political lesson of Watergate is this: never again must America allow an arrogant, elite guard of political adolescents to bypass the regular party organization and dictate the terms of a national election. The best way to enhance freedom in other lands is to demonstrate here that our democratic system is worthy of emulation. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't parse it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. The old ideas are new again because they're not old. They're timeless: duty, sacrifice, commitment, and a patriotism that finds its expression in taking part and pitching in. America has two great dominant strands of political thought: conservatism, which, at its very best, draws lines that should not be crossed, and liberalism, which, at its very best, breaks down barriers that are no longer needed. The advance of freedom is the surest strategy to undermine the appeal of terror in the world. I've always believed that hope is that stubborn thing inside us that insists, despite all the evidence to the contrary, that something better awaits us so long as we have the courage to keep reaching, to keep working, to keep fighting. What separates the winners from the losers is how a person reacts to each new twist of fate. The more people vote, the more engaged the whole nation becomes, and the stronger democracy will be. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please press the like button and consider subscribing.